Hey guys, it's Julie, designer at the Quilted Cow, and today's tutorial is the helpful Heifer tablet case. But before we begin, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Husqvarna Viking sewing machines, Creative Goods rulers, mats and rotary cutters, and Wilmington prints. Let's get started. The helpful Heifer tablet case is the perfect case to carry your tablet or your iPad in. It has a pin holder and it's got a pocket so you can carry all of your charging cords or earbuds. You can find this kit on our website at thequiltedcow.com or on our Facebook Lives on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. To begin, we're going to cut all of our fabrics according to our pattern that's included in our kit. The hydrangea mist fabric that I'm using from Wilmington Prints is a directional fabric. So I'm going to show you guys how to cut that. We ask that you cut it a 1/2 inch larger. So what that means is that you need to sew the two bottom parts of your prints together. So our pattern calls for our fabric to be cut at 30 inches. In order to get that, we need to do two 15¼ inch cuts because we need to account for our seam allowance. So we're going to cut it at how wide it needs to be first. Once you have your width established, we need to turn it and cut it at the height. This is where your 15¼ inch comes in, so we can get our 30 inches that's needed to make our tablet case. We're just going to clean up the other edge. Once this part's done, we need to lay our fabric out on both sides. So since it's directional, you want your bottom parts of your butterflies and your plants to match up. So we're going to lay them right sides together and stitch along this bottom seam. Now we need to get out our ironing mat and press our seams in one direction or the other. This is going to be the bottom of your case, so it doesn't matter if you press it open or just to the side. We need to apply our fusible fleece next. That is included in your kit. Repeat that for your other side. Once the interfacing is applied to your main, we're going to apply it to our lining and our pocket pieces as well. Once we have our interlacing applied, we are going to fold it right sides together, matching up our short ends, creating a tube. We're going to stitch right along these raw edges. We're going to turn it right side out and press it well. Next, you need to top stitch along the fold. We need to take our main fabric and fold it in half with the wrong sides together. If it's directional, this will be where your seam is right on the bottom. Give this a little press so we can create a crease here at the bottom edge. Before we apply our pocket to our main fabric, we need to trim it to the size needed for our kit. If you have a directional print, you want to make sure that it's even on the right and the left sides of your main fabric. So we need to trim this to the width that we need as well. So I always trim the edges, so center it. So you'll trim some off each side and make sure it's nice and straight and even. Once we have our main fabric trimmed to size, we're going to add our pocket. In the pattern, it states to add it a 1/2 inch above our center line or our seam if we used a directional print. Once we have our sides held in place, we're going to measure in for our pin pocket. So we are going to measure in 2¼ inches. If you need this pocket bigger or smaller, adjust it as your needs suit. I'm just going to use this friction pin to draw a line. I'm going to add clips to hold the other side of this pocket onto the main, and then we're going to stitch around the bottom and on our pin pocket as well. I'm going to start at the top and make sure you backstitch, and we'll end at the bottom line. The next step is to erase or press away your friction pin marks or your chalk marks. So we are going to fold our main with the right sides together, and we're going to stitch down both the sides, making sure to leave the top open. We're going to turn this right side out and press it well. Use a stiletto or a point turner to poke out your corners. I always roll my seams just so I can get nice crisp lines. We're going to repeat this step for our lining. Once again, folding it right sides together, matching up your short ends. You can add some pins or some clips to the side to hold it in place. We're going to add a 1/4 inch seam. This time, we're going to leave our lining wrong side out. Trim off your loose threads. We are going to take our main and put it inside of our lining with the right sides together. You need to line up your side seams and pin or clip those into place. We are going to stitch around the entire top of our project, leaving a 3 or 4 inch opening for turning. Okay, now let's turn our project right side out through our turn opening. We're going to press our lining back inside of our tablet case. I always finger roll my top seam. We're going to step to our pressing mat and press it so we can get a nice crisp edge for our top seam. So we're going to press the top edge, get a nice crisp seam. Tuck in your turn opening. We're going to stitch a top stitch all around our project, closing our turn opening as we go. The final step to finishing our tablet case is to add the snaps that'll hold the top of it closed. So I'm going to use my small Creative Grids ruler. We are going to measure 3/4 an inch from the top and 1.5 inches over from the side seams. I'm going to use a friction pin to make a mark. We're going to repeat this on both sides on the front and both sides on the back. So once again, 1.5 inches from the side seam, 3/4 inch from the top. You can use an awl or a seam ripper to apply your snaps. Whatever your preferred method is. I am going to poke a hole right where I made the mark with my seam ripper, cut just a couple of tiny threads, and poke my cap in. With this project, it doesn't matter if you put your studs or your sockets on the front or the back. So with this one, I'm going to put my sockets on the back side and my studs on the front. So there's one finger snap done. Repeat that on this next back side. Once again, cutting just a few threads worth, poke my cap through the hole and just press your finger snaps together and it's ready. Repeat this on the front side using my studs. That is how you make the Helpful Heifer tablet case. You can find the kit on our website on thequiltedcow.com or on our Facebook Lives on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more tutorials.
Okay, you wicked cool quilters, good job. You made it to the end. We would like to thank our sponsors, Husqvarna Viking Sewing Machines, Creative Grids, rulers, rotary cutters, and mats, and Wilmington Prints for the beautiful fabrics. Thanks for watching.